Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you if you're watching this video. It is Friday the 25th of January 2013, and I really had my eyes open to something that it was a bombshell. I'll put it that way. I got a bombshell dropped on my forehead this morning, and I realized something. If you were watching the Alex Jones show, or if you are right now, you'll know that senior staff editor of WorldNet Daily is on the show right now, Jerome Corsi, and he's talking to Alex Jones about how China is buying oil reserves from Canada and from places in the U.S. that you cannot compete against. I mean, the socialists are coming to our country to make money, but then again, we as American, as the, whatever you want to call it, blue collar, white collar, whatever collar you wear, you can't make any money though. I mean, you get taxed until you're dead broke, and the bloodsuckers are gonna move on to someone else. But I realized something. In East Germany, the people that got singled out, like they're doing right now with the race wars, is that they're trying to see who it's gonna be. Just like it was the Jewish people in East Germany that they threw into the re-education camps and murdered. I have I have a serious feeling in my gut that everything that's going on right now is to put Christians under persecution and to torture them and murder them in the future. And you guys, yeah, it sounds crazy, but I mean, look at the news. If you guys actually read the news, you know that we have socialists running this country. You've got socialists from other countries that their entire nation is under like a dictatorship, and they are all forced into labor and pretty much don't get paid nothing for it. But man, I mean, when I think about what it would be like to live in China, I mean, it is a nightmare of an imagination that comes into my... I mean, it's hard to imagine that we might be living in that reality one day, that we might be having to stand in food lines and wait for the government to feed us while they're asking you if you're a Christian. Because, see, the only people that care about anything and about gun rights and know anything about anything going on are the Christians, my friend. I'm not giving Christianity all the credit, because there are some bright people out there that are, that they're bright on their own, but even though they're not believers, that's their own personal, that's their issue, but man, it's really obvious to me now that they're coming for you Christians out there. They're coming for you guys, because you guys know that bearing arms is what keeps your liberty intact. They know that you have the spirit of liberty. The spirit of the Lord is the spirit of liberty. So you know that when you are empowered to the point where you know that Jesus bought all of your sin, that you are made righteous, that He has paid for every victory you want, that you are so empowered that you don't let the yuppies get to you, and put labels on you, like, oh, you're Hispanic, you can't do this. Oh, you're only 5'8", you can't do this. I mean, all the limitations that people put on you, they disappear with the type of wisdom and empowerment that God gives you, because everything's been done for you. It's not even about you anymore. It's always been about Jesus and the things that He's done for us and who we represent here on earth, and that is Christ the Lord. We represent the Almighty King in heaven, my friend. We represent the King of Kings on earth. We have that power bestowed to us through fasting, prayer, devotional time, reading our Bibles. You know what I mean? These things get you to have blessings poured up upon your head, man, by God. And all the articles in the news today are pointed at the Christian. I got one right here. Priest in trouble for denying existence of Jesus. American pastor jailed in Iran, now missing. they're pushing serial killer shows now on TV. Obama is fulfilling dark prophecy. Let's see. He's even the court is starting to say that he's making unconstitutional decisions, and they're getting on him now for this. And I mean, it's incredible what's going on today. The development just from this, from yesterday to today. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not cool, but I kind of, in a way, am relieved that more is coming to light, because like I said, the people that want to stay in the dark are going to have to come out and see the light one day, because it's going to be that bright that you're going to have to know what's going on. And I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just telling you what I read on the news and on these articles. You cannot make this stuff up. But I'm going to get into this really short article here. Testing the Faith. Priest in trouble for denying existence of Jesus. Has been questioning Christ since 1970s. Goes public in book. This is by Joe Kovacs. Of course, Joe Kovacs is an award-winning journalist and since 1999 executive news editor of WND. He is the author of the 2 best-selling books, Shocked by the Bible, The Most Amazing Facts You've Never Been Told, and its 2012 sequel, The Divine Secret, The Awesome and Untold Truth About Your Phenomenal Destiny. And he writes, call it a case of pulpit fiction. A veteran priest in Ireland has reportedly been forced to quit a Bible teaching job after writing a book claiming Jesus never existed. Absolute blasphemy. But then again, Jesus said, you could blaspheme against me, but you cannot blaspheme against the Holy Ghost. He understands that he is our kinsman redeemer, and that as a man, you tend to want to bash on other men for what they're good at or what they do or whatever. It's a natural evil that comes out of your heart through jealousy or through whatever it is. A veteran priest in Ireland has reportedly been forced to stop. The claim by Father Tom Brody is made in his work Beyond the Quest for Historical Jesus, which debuted last fall. The Iran Sun reports the publication of the book ignited an uproar among his colleagues, and he was ousted from his position at the Dominican Biblical Institute in Limerick, Ireland, which Brody actually helped create. The newspaper says, it has viewed documents banning Brody from any lecturing, teaching, or writing pending the results of an investigation. Brody reportedly had questioned Jesus' existence for the past 4 decades, but was unable to until now to share his beliefs with the public. The book, which took 12 years to complete, is said to have shocked his superiors. Brody claims in the book that many of Jesus' actions were merely a ripoff of the Hebrew Bible, or in some cases, or of earlier texts. One source told The Sun, Tom's book has caused quite a stir and some considerable upset. The whole premise of his book has been questioned by biblical scholars. He was asked to step aside from his ministry, and the provincial council unanimously backed that decision. A committee is now examining his work and will meet with Father Brody to discuss it. Another source said the theory is a bit strange, a bit out of there. He was 12 years researching it, and nobody knew he would come out with something like this. Brody's replacement at the Dominican Biblical Institute is Father Gerard Norton, who told the Irish Sun he had reached the end of his term in office and had served 3 terms instead of the usual 2. He said he was not going forward for another one. His resignation was accepted. The historicity of Jesus is actually in little doubt today, even among people who don't believe the Bible itself is true. Jesus, of course, is the subject of 4 Gospels in the New Testament, as well as numerous letters from Paul, John, and his own brothers, James and Jude. He is also mentioned by non-biblical sources, including twice in the Antiquities of the Jews, written in AD 93 by Jewish historian Flavius Josephus. One of the mentions of Josephus states, about this time came Jesus, a wise man, if indeed it is appropriate to call him a man, for he was a performer of paradoxal feats, a teacher of people who accept the unusual with pleasure, and he won over many of the Jews and also many Greeks. He was the Christ. When Pilate, upon the accusation of the first men amongst us, condemned him to be crucified. Those who had formerly loved him did not cease to follow him, for he appeared to them on the third day, living again, as the divine prophets foretold, along with a myriad of other marvelous things concerning him, and the tribe of the Christians, so named after him, has not disappeared to this day. Later, the Roman historian Tacitus, who was hostile to Christianity, mentioned both Jesus Christ and Christianity in his annals circa AD 116. While describing the Roman Emperor Nero's persecution of Christians following the Great Fire of Rome in 64, Tacitus wrote, Nero fastened the guilt of starting the blaze and inflicted the most exquisite tortures on a class hated for their abominations, called Christians by the populace. Christ, from whom the name had its origin, suffered the extreme penalty during the reign of Tiberius, 14 through 37, at the hands of one of our procurators, Pontius Pilate, and the most mischievous superstition, thus checked for the moment, again broke out not only in Judea, the first source of the evil, but even in Rome, where all things hideous and shameful from every part of the world find their center and become popular. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't take anything in the Bible as figurative. I take it literal. I think a lot of it is literal. You know, like, for example, let me see how much time I have so I could try to explain this. I have a little bit of time. For example, when the Israelites were, led out of Egypt by God, they were saved out of bondage, delivered from, pretty much tyrants. They were only a year into their journey to the holy promised land that God promised them, the land flowing of milk and honey. That would become the nation of Israel. But only a year out on their journey, they ran into Amalek, the nation of the ungodliness, the nation that represents evil and ungodliness. Amalek. People that did, pretty much anything goes, and times were random. Things could randomly happen, and it's like, there's no right or wrong in Amalek. There are no rules. Anything goes, and everything's random. They are the definition of evil in the world. They are symbolic in that time as being the reason why the world was so dark when the Israelites were on their way to the promised land. So this is one of their fights. They get in a fight with the Amalekites. The Israelites fight the Amalekites. And God tells Moses to stand on top of the mountain and raise his arms. And every time Moses rose his arms, Israel would start winning the battle. But every time Moses put his arms down, Israel would start losing the battle. Now, this isn't figurative. This is literal. What it is trying to tell you is that when you look up during, your struggles, when you just look up, when you have faith, when you raise your arms, when you have faith, that is the word, faith. Because without faith, there's only doubt, and doubt is a producer of these types of people, the Amalekites. And faith is the only thing that could beat the Amalekites. Every time they didn't fight with faith, they would start losing. They would start having faith when they looked up at Moses on the mountain and he had his arms raised up to heaven, because they would get faith from that. They would get empowered by that, and they would start to win. You see what I mean? You gotta have faith. You cannot doubt everything. If you doubt everything, you're just laying down to everything that's trying to murder you and take everything from you.